The brazen and brutal attack on the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Paul Pelosi underwent surgery to repair a skull fracture after he was beaten with a hammer inside his San Francisco home Friday. Doctors say they expect the 82-year-old to make a full recovery. A suspect is in custody, charged with attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, burglary, and elder abuse. Speaker Pelosi was not at home at the time of the attack. Christina Ruffini is at the Capitol with the very latest. Christina, good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News the intruder shouted, "Where's Nancy?" and planned to detain Paul Pelosi until the speaker got home. Now, late yesterday, police wouldn't comment on a motive, but said the attack was not random. It was targeted and it was wrong.
Broadway, across of Scott and Normandy.
With the attacker in the house, police say Paul Pelosi was able to make an open line 911 call around 2 a.m. on Friday.
He was the caller. Dispatch kind of took it from there and read between the lines.
On the call, federal sources told CBS News the dispatcher could hear what sounded like someone being threatened in the background and sent a high-priority alert to law enforcement.
Her actions, in my opinion, resulted in both a higher priority dispatch and a faster police response. I think this was life-saving.
Arriving on scene, police say they saw signs of forced entry, including broken glass.
Our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it.
The suspect, 42-year-old David Wayne DePape, was immediately apprehended by police and is facing multiple felony charges.
Assault with a deadly weapon, elder abuse, burglary.
A CBS News review of suspected social media posts by David DePape shows him spreading conspiracy theories about Holocaust denial, pedophiles in the government, and claims that Democratic officials run child sex rings. Speaker Pelosi, who was in Washington, D.C. at the time of the attack, rushed to the San Francisco hospital, where her 82-year-old husband underwent successful surgery to repair a skull fracture and serious injuries to his right arm and hands, according to her office. But the break-in raises concerns about the safety members of Congress and their families.
Enough is enough is enough.
Campaigning in Philadelphia last night, President Biden condemned the attack.
Every person of good conscience needs to clearly and unambiguously stand up against the violence.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell wrote he was, quote, horrified and disgusted by reports of the incident. And Texas Republican Ted Cruz, a longtime critic of Pelosi, tweeted, "We can have our political differences, but violence is always wrong and unacceptable." But yesterday, just days before the midterm election, the Department of Homeland Security issued a new bulletin warning of a heightened threat towards candidates running for public office, elected officials, and election workers, and said some violent extremists might be motivated by differing perceptions of issues like government overreach, firearms regulation, and immigration policy, issues that have been front and center in the run-up to November.
There's no room for violence anywhere, but we're going to send her back to be with him in California. That's what we're going to go do.
Now, just to clarify, it's Capitol Police, not the San Francisco Police or the Secret Service, that's responsible for the speaker's security, as well as that for other members of Congress. And law enforcement tells us they do not have the resources, nor is it standard protocol for them to protect lawmakers' families around the clock. Jeff?
Just awful details, Christina. Thank you very much.